Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to be making another cat today since it's February. It's the month of love, and we do love dead cats on this channel, deceased cats. I'm going to go ahead and get this right off the bat, get this information out there. The cats are not possessed, they're not cursed, they're not real cats, they're just clay, so I'm not selling real deceased cats. I'm not selling anything that's gonna harm your home or change your lifestyle. So what I did there was I just found the little pancake side of the foil, and what I mean by that is this would be, you know, we're on hamburger, hot dog. This would be the hamburger side of the foil. And place the face. Go ahead and visualize the face is what you want to do first off. First things first. Go ahead and visualize that cat. By the way, quick hands update. Hands are healing up pretty good. Got a cut here and a cut here. So I figure I just fill those cuts up with, especially this one, will be filled up with clay, I'm sure, by the end of the day here. Very busy day. Got a lot of interest being drummed up lately. And, you know, with that, obviously, we got a new flood of concerns, complaints, etc. One being, is AI going to take my job? A lot of people are saying AI can't take my job because AI doesn't have hands, and my response to that is yet. So will AI be taking my job? Possibly yes, at some point in the future. But for now, since these cats are something I kind of came up with myself, I'm hoping AI can't really actually get a hold of that. Now, if someone were to purchase one of these cats and train their own AI to create the cats, that would be a totally separate scenario, but for now I think I'm safe. What I'm doing right now is just kind of fleshing out the face of the cat, determining what needs to be pushed out a little more. And I know for certain I am going to need a jaw section. So what I'm going to do is just build where I think the jaw approximately is going to be. Put a little bit of extra clay there. And I'm going to go ahead and push that down. Work that in. And then you kind of can see the shape of the cat face forming here. Keep in mind these creatures are pretty foul looking, so you can only make them look so good before you're kind of, altering the reality a little too far. I do realize there have been a lot of cats lately on the channel, and I do want to apologize to anyone who's been waiting for rat videos. I assure you the rat videos are coming back, but this is kind of a Valentine's month spectacular where we're just doing nothing but deceased cats. And obviously the reason, don't think I really would have to explain this, but obviously the reason why the cats are deceased is for what they did to the rats. Anyone who's never been around a rat, you wouldn't understand, or anyone who hasn't been around enough cats and you still somehow trust them. It's a kind of tradition in the channel to bring up my brother's unfortunate many incidents with cats. Once he was mauled as a child in two places in New Jersey, once by the Delaware River at a house there, and once in Jersey City in the 90s. So he has been mauled multiple times, and he is a victim of what they call cat scratch fever. So yes, he's clinically insane due to the 2 cat attacks he suffered as a child. And therefore I really don't have any good things to say about them. I don't know if you can tell, I'm trying to work with my middle finger today as much as I can instead of my pointer, because I do not want, or I want the minimum amount of clay in there that's going to get in there. So you see we kind of have our cat face forming up. So I think it's time to go ahead and kind of start making the jowls of the beast. And it doesn't have to be, too overboard. They are menacing looking creatures, but you don't have to go over the top. You can just keep it realistic, and I think you'll be in good shape. So this is going to be kind of a wider looking cat so far as I can tell. And what I'm doing right now, this is really the main feature that most cats have is the kind of lip feature. I don't really know what it's called, but they have a permanent kind of grimace about them. I'm just working that in there very, very quickly. Nothing, you don't want to overwork the cat. You don't want to overwork any clay you're working with. So what I'm doing is just kind of laying the foundation, fixing up kind of the inside of the mouth. You do want it to be smooth. You want it to be, you don't want it to be, poor workmanship. You want to have a quality product, whether you're making a cat, a rat, dog, whatever. So what I'm doing is, right now I'm actually realizing that this isn't, there we go, and that's what we're looking for there. So you see the classic kind of cat scowl forming. And these are common words I use when I describe the cat look. So you will hear me say scowl, grimace, things like that quite a bit when I'm describing cats. And it's nothing personal against the beasts. It's just, well, I guess it is slightly personal because of what they did to my brother, but other than that, I do seem to receive less complaints about the cats for some reason, which almost kind of pisses me off, because the rats are the better, they're the kinder of the two beings, and I get plenty of complaints about those damn rats, I'll tell you that. If it wasn't for my passion for the rats, I probably would have given up the whole rat career years ago, but unfortunately, I have a soft spot for the rats. Okay, so here you see we got the basic foundation of your cat face here, and what I'm doing now is just kind of softening up the features a little bit. You don't want to overdo it and pull too much clay from the face. You still want to have good coverage of the face here with the clay. It's very important. So I'm just very carefully pulling the clay, trying to form a complete and fairly even surface. Doesn't have to be perfect. It is, at the end of the day, folks, you are looking at handmade items here. These are one of a kind. They're going to be a couple blemishes here and there, but so far I do like the way this one's turning out. And I don't know if you can, it's just me, or if you can see that there is kind of a bit of a evil scowl forming like this. I don't know if I want to go here, because this would be, I think I'd have to go a little bit higher. We're going to go ahead and try something new here. And you do see kind of how the cat will kind of form in its actual nature. So cats, being fairly evil creatures, are very easily formed as the beings that they truly are. The clay kind of will mostly only allow creatures to be displayed as they truly are. And given my natural disdain for cats over the years, it turns out that I was right, according to the clay. So, yeah, I'm just kind of rambling on, but you get the idea of what I'm doing here. You got the basic face formed up. Cat's eyes are slightly ovular, so you can do that. You can make them kind of an oval shape. I want them to be this is not really the ideal. This is not really the true cat eye shape that I'm sure everyone's familiar with. So what I'm gonna do is kind of casually reshape your eye. It's nothing. There's no sense of urgency to be had here with this. You can take as long as you want to make your cat. If you want to take the whole day to form your cat, that's fine. You're more than welcome to do that. So I do like, I kind of like them both. There we go, that's much better. So you do kind of see where we're going with this. And I am just going to do, because I did forget to do this on a recent project I was working on. And this is an important step. You do need your whiskers. Whether you're making a rat or a cat, you certainly need your whiskers to be present. So I'm going to go ahead and give the whiskers their presence here. I apologize for leaning over the view of the camera for this part, but it is imperative that you get the whiskers correct. Okay, next thing I think we're going to do kind of larger ears. So for the ears I take roughly equal sized pieces of clay, and I would make what normally would be rat nose, and I will just go ahead and make sure those are kind of formed up well. Get those on there. Again, I always say for cats, it is okay if they kind of resemble devil horns, because for some reason the people who buy my products don't really seem to believe that the cats are possessed as bad as they believe the rats are, and they're not. Again, I assure you they're not, but as it stands, the cats are faring much better for some reason, which again angers me, with the public. I don't know if I believe they just have everyone kind of charmed, kind of lulled into a false sense of security. But again, if you could just, say a prayer for my brother that he might come out of his bout of cat scratch fever. I really doubt it at this point, because it's been decades, but it would be nice to to see what's going on in his brain after all this time of him being absolutely incapacitated by the wretched beast. Enough of that. I'm getting close to the end of this cat. It is a pretty quick cat. I'm not totally happy with my cat speed yet. I'm still working on that. But this one is it's okay. It's an acceptable speed, especially with one finger almost out of commission. I'm risking a lot by using it here. And then there you go. You got kind of a You can kind of pinch the ears in, you can kind of bend the ears a little bit, make them kind of, you know, a little bit more realistic shaped, I guess. And then I just want to, one more time, just kind of rub the surface of this cat to be fairly flat and uniform. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it's not going to be, but you do want to give it your all when working with any kind of any situation with clay. You want to do your best and just kind of try to put your best foot forward. After a while, it does start to get overheated from being worked, and then it does get harder and harder to get the surface even. So keep that in mind. I think we are getting to that point now where it's becoming more of just kind of a redundant back and forth of pulling clay around, and that's really what this whole thing is just visualizing and pulling clay. That's all I'm doing here, folks. Okay, so there you go. There's your cat right there. That's how it'll sit. We'll curl this ear forward a little bit as well. And we'll leave one open. And we will put this in the oven and come back when it is time to paint. One thing I almost forgot is to make sure you give these cats fangs. Let me find my bag of fangs. I'm going to need to be making more fangs and whiskers very soon. So you want to find two fangs that are fairly similar in size. I think I like these kind of little ones for this cat. Let's see, maybe these two? No. Let's just take all the fangs out of the bag. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about my whisker bag now. And what we'll do is just kind of real quick, this one and this one. Maybe this one goes with this one, I think, actually. Yeah, that's a good pair. Okay, and then you want to just kind of sink those fangs in, much like they did to my brother in the 90s. So just kind of find that spot. Sink that fang. Do not overwork the fang at this point. I can't stress that enough. You do not want to overwork the fang at this point. Get the fang where you need it to be. Move on, folks. The second you start messing with these fangs, the second everything goes downhill. Now you see this one's a little bit too... This is where I start messing with them, end up with a situation, okay? And I am just going to go ahead and fix these whisker holes up slightly because I have been having a little bit of whisker issues. So I just want to be sure these whisker holes will allow the whisker and the glue to be properly fitted and seated. Okay, and then we will come back when this bastard's out of the oven. We are back from the oven with this white cat. Just gonna get our basic design down. And this cat is so fresh, it's still a little bit warm. hit it with a little bit of pink for the nose. A little bit of pink for the ears, nothing too crazy on the ears here. Oh, gotta go real careful here. And obviously we will complete the cat the same way we complete every cat, and that is with just a little bit of blood on the teeth there. Nothing too crazy, just a little bit of blood on the teeth. By the way, I am painting these cats with acrylic paint, and that is the same material I use for my rats. Okay. There you go, nothing too over the top, nothing too complicated, simple cat. And we will go ahead and come back when it's time to do the whiskers. Okay, we are back with this little white cat. We're gonna quickly drop a couple whiskers in there. I'm pretty happy with how I set up the whisker holes for these cats, so I think we can get them in relatively issue-free. Get a little glob of glue. I'm just going to very carefully make our placement. The one thing you have to do is make sure you're, again, being very solid with your placement. So once you get that placement, kind of make sure you get it where you want it. Lock it in and stick the landing. I think we might, there we go. Kind of want to match your placements up though. So this one, I want this to be a little bit more like this angle. And it's not sticking the way I want it to, so I'll get a little more glue. I don't want to overdo it, but you do want to make sure you get what you're looking for here. And I'll just hold that in place for a moment. Sometimes this is the worst part of the whole process, is just getting these whiskers in, because they do not really ever want to do, well, it's like 50% of the time they'll do what you want them to, and half the time they just, see, so that one's a pretty good one, although it's sitting a little bit, that would be perfect if it would stay right there. So take your time, place them where you can, where you want them. Follow through, because this is an important part of each cat or rat that you're working on. Be very happy with that. If that stays in place, I will give that a minute. I'm going to just lightly, quickly trim that side up. And that is that cat. You got the front, you got the side view, and I will post pictures. Thank you for tuning in.